All right, we have a leftist in charge of Mexico here, and that has buoyed much of the Central South American region, now confident that one of their own is back in and going to be calling the leftist shots here. What does it mean for Venezuela and Nicaragua and all of these hurdles that each country faces, as now it is looking to revisit some of these far left field policies that we thought were dormant and put to bed? Apparently not. David Asman knows the region very, very well. His take on all this. Davey, very good to have you. What do you make of all this?
Well, you know, the leftist push, if you will, in Latin America has been going on for 100 years now, and it continues to come along. I mean, the Mexicans should know better. They know that socialism doesn't work. We've had plenty of examples of it, from Cuba to Venezuela. Venezuela is the classic example because it's should be one of the richest places in the Western Hemisphere. It has more oil reserves than any country in the world, even more than Russia or Saudi Arabia, and yet it is terrible. Then you have the place that they used to supply with a lot of free oil is Nicaragua. Now, Nicaragua is run by a guy named Danny Ortega, who people can remember from way back in the beginning of the Reagan administration when he took over after a revolution there in 1979. He ran the country for about 7 years, ran it directly into the ground. He was voted out in 1990 primarily because of the Contras that Ronald Reagan empowered. But he came back in because he bought off the opposition. And he has run that country into the ground as a result of his socialist policies. About 2 months ago, the country it got too much. The country exploded. He fought back with these death squads that have killed about 250 people just in the past 2 months. And now, as of yesterday, anyway, the State Department has enacted the Magnitsky Act that allows them to sanction individuals in a foreign government that has terrible human rights abuses. So that country, it's fair to say that something is really about to explode in Nicaragua. Whether that will boil over to other countries in Central America is anyone's guess. But it's such a tragedy because they've tried so hard to get rid of this guy so many times it's failed. Now, Venezuela, just got to tell you, you know how much a haircut costs now in Venezuela, Neil?
I have no idea.
5 bananas and 2 eggs. The reason being that they have 25,000% inflation on an annual basis in Venezuela. So they've gotten rid of the currency. The only way you can buy anything is by bartering with eggs and bananas and live chickens. And again, this is a country that's one of the richest in the world in terms of oil.
It
just shows.
Yeah.
If you want any example of why socialism doesn't work, or given the best odds imaginable for it to work, given the oil money that Venezuela has, it's failing miserably, and the people are suffering.
Yeah, and you can even realize the case that brought a socialist to power, not a socialist, but a left-wing entity to power in Mexico, was because of the corruption prior under the existing party system. And you hope it doesn't go to the way of craziness, but it is a worry. But let me switch gears, if you don't mind,
Sure.
on this trade war or battle, whatever you want to call it. The stocks don't seem to be too worried. But I'm more surprised, David, by the Republicans' reaction to it. I mean, this is the so-called laissez-faire party, the government hands-off. Of course, we know in retrospect when it came to money center banks in trouble and they were rescued, their view of the government and helping out was very, very different. Having said that, it is remarkable that Republicans, by and large, are going along with this, maybe this experiment, whatever you want to call it, and trusting the president to get it right, or afraid to take him on. I don't know which it is.
Here's the issue, and I was kind of a part of the whole free market trend that was taking place when I was with the Journal in the 80s and the 90s, writing editorials about how important it was to get China into the mix of the world economy, and it's been very good for China, no doubt about it, and it was good for us. We got a lot of cheap goods from China, but China took advantage of so many things, Neil. The theory was back then that if you open up the market to China, China will become even more democratic and get away from its Maoist communist past. Well, in fact, as you know very well, the president of China has become more dictatorial than ever now, and essentially appointed him to be head of China for life. So the old theory that I actually bought into, and I think a lot of my conservative friends did, that if you could totally open up the doors for free trade to China, they'll become more democratic. It didn't work out because they were lying and they were cheating. They were lying in terms of their stats. You and I never trust the stats that come out about their economic growth. They're cheating with regard to the WTO, and they're stealing. They're stealing our intellectual property. They're stealing a lot of the companies that try to do work there that become infested with Communist Party members. You can't own more than 49% of any company there. So that's, I think, why conservatives are cutting him a little break on the free trade issue right now, at least until they see how far this goes, whether slapping back to China and all the bad things they've done is going to force them to change somehow. And China is suffering tremendously as a result of this.
No, there's no doubt about that.
Their stock market is in the tank.
Where I will take issue with you is applying it to Canada, applying it to the European Union. And there I have a hard time understanding. And you can mention individual cases in different countries. I've said before, and I think you and I mentioned, in the case of lumber in Canada and the dairy industry, they do gouge us, Yes. But when I look at these statistics on what average tariffs are in each country, and I see that Canada's is at 4.5%, we're at 3.5%. We have our own anomalies, how we treat light vehicles coming from abroad. So we do the same thing. I guess that's what bothers me. China, by all means, you and I for many decades have cited the fact that we can't trust their data or numbers or anything. But to lump Canada in with that, I mean, their maple syrup is delicious. I mean, I find
two things I'd say, though. One is that remember his trade team has a lot of free marketeers in there, including Larry Kudlow. Right. Hopefully he'll be okay after that slight heart attack he had. He says he's going to get back into the mix. And Steve Mnuchin himself is pretty much of a free trading guy. So there is a give and take. They're not all protectionists in there. There are some. And they actually worry me as well.
We're fighting with everybody, and it's ridiculous.
But if the goal, again, what he says is one thing. That's what we've learned about Trump. The results might be different. If, for example, and you've talked about this before, if we manage, instead of raising auto tariffs, to get down to zero auto tariffs for everybody, not only cars going out, but cars coming in, I think that end result would be terrific. Now, that might be pie in the sky, but that's what I'm hoping in the best case scenario to work out.
Here's what makes you a wonderful human being. You see the bright side, and you see the method to the madness. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, sometimes it's just madness. Sometimes it's just crazy. And his response and lumping friend and foe alike is crazy. That's my opinion.
And the one thing that I would agree with you on is that sometimes these things spin out of control. Yes. And as smart and strong as Trump is as a president, he cannot be the master of economic cycles. And if the economic cycle spins into this sort of out-of-control wave of trade wars, then we are in trouble.
But the history of such battles is that they don't end well. They don't end well. And you're a great student of history.
Usually not.
We're backing ourselves into
look
a
at
corner that we created.
Look at the terrorists back in the 1930s. I mean, they really, I think, were more of a cause of the Depression, the Great Depression, than the stock market crash.
And we didn't go after Canada or maple syrup.
No, the Canadians were our friends during the Depression, as far as I remember. That was a long time. I was just a little boy.
That was the first story I covered. I remember it was very, very tough. All right, David, always good seeing you, my friend.
Happy Friday, Neil.
To you as well. David has done a very good read on things, a very big sort of historical read. But that is a fear I have, that sometimes, maybe for all the right reasons, we get to be so unreasonable, we lose all sense of reason. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to figure out what I just said.